This video is all about romance. If romance isn't your thing, I won't be hurt if you decide to skip this video and watch something else, like my December classics, young adult and new adult wrap-up. If you're still with me, let's talk about some steamy romance novels. Shades of Dark, the second book in the sci-fi romance Doc 5 universe series by Linnea Sinclair. Linnea Sinclair is my favorite sci-fi romance author. This second book in her Doc 5 universe series is about Sully struggling to master his rag-carril powers. And it took me forever to get through. It was really slow at first. However, the last 15% did make up for the slowness of the rest of the book. I may have cried. Moonstruck, the first book in the sci-fi romance Borderlands series by Susan Grant. I really liked this one. It dealt with PTSD and other issues of war, so it was a tad bit deeper than your typical romance novel. It was my first Susan Grant book, and it definitely makes me want to read more. Beyond the Shadows, the second of the Realms Beyond series, Jess Granger's sci-fi romance books. I liked the first book in this series and totally fell in love with the second book, which is about Cyane's brother Sin kidnapping the heir to the throne to try to spark a revolution. It was fun. And then I went to Jess Granger's Goodreads page to find out when she was going to release a third book, only to find out that she's abandoned sci-fi romance altogether and now writes young adult fiction under the name Kristen Bailey. And not very highly rated YA fiction either. Now, I like myself some YA just as much as the next book addict, and I'm fully sympathetic with the fact that it's damn hard to make a living as a sci-fi romance author in this day and age. But for Gerfunkel's sake, if every single good writer starts writing YA, I'm gonna quickly want to strangle the next handsome stable hand she barely knows, but hopes she can trust. That's an actual line from the description of her YA book. Ladies, public service announcement. Genetic good looks do not in any way indicate trustworthiness, as much as our ovaries would love it to be true. Consider yourself informed. Okay, rambling diatribe aside, her sci-fi romance series was really good, and I'm just sulkily crushed that I'll never get to read the next book in the series. Kiss of Midnight by Lara Adrian, the first book of the Midnight Breed paranormal romance series. It's about vampires. I'm not a weenie, but this book was a little too laissez-faire with the whole senseless killing thing for my taste. I will not be reading the second. What a Gentleman Wants, the first book in the Reese family trilogy by Caroline Linden. I really liked this historical romance. It had good characters that I connected with. It's about a duke's twin brother panicking on his wedding day and forging his brother's name on the marriage license instead. So yeah, it was perhaps a rather contrived storyline, but hey, it's part of the genre. As long as I end up liking the characters thrown into the trumped up story, I'm a happy camper. Seduce Me at Sunrise, the second book in the historical romance series The Hathaways by Lisa Kleypas. I read these books all out of order, reading the last books in the series first and loving them. Then I went back and filled in the first books. I actually disliked the first book, but really liked the second book, which follows the love story of Wynne, who has extremely frail health, and Marypan, the Romany orphan who grew up with her family. I liked it, and I'm curious to see how book 3 ends up being. Seduced by a Pirate, a novella in Eloisa James' historical romance fairy tale series. I'm an Eloisa James fan, and her rewritten fairy tale series is especially fun. This was a little short novella she wrote to round out a side story in another book in the series. It's a tale of a guy who gets conscripted into the crew of a pirate ship on his wedding night. Years later, he returns to find that his wife has a gaggle of children who obviously can't be his. Turned out to be an adorable little short story. Okay, so I know I said I was doing one video to wrap up romance, but my Christmas romance reading tradition got a little out of hand, so I'm going to have to do another video covering the contemporary romance books I read. That's it, I swear.